Hello everyone, welcome back to Chinmoy's Biology channel to a new episode of human reproduction. So this is as per CBSE curriculum, and in the previous episode I have done sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So previous to that, we in other 2-3 episodes we have completed about vegetative propagation and asexual reproduction methods in plants. Okay. So let's proceed with today's episode. If you have not yet gone through the previous episodes, please do go through it, and I'll be putting the link in the description box below. And don't skip today's lesson in between, because it is going to be a very interesting episode with many important information as per this human reproduction should contain. So stay tuned till the end. Let's get started. So first of all, if we start giving the introduction that human reproduction is what it is, a sexual reproduction, and it involves the male and the female reproductive systems both, and it ensures the production of offspring and thus gradually the continuation of the species happens. So today's episode we will discuss about the full human reproduction process, which will include the structure of the male as well as the female reproductive organs, how the human body from childhood to adolescence to maturity, the transformation is happening. We will go through all these processes. So stay tuned till the end. So now we are here with the reproduction in human beings. So till now we have been discussing about varieties of modes of different species, how the reproduction is happening in different species. So now we are more interested in human reproduction. So how this is working out. So humans use a sexual mode of reproduction, I told you just now. So let us begin at an apparently unrelated point. So in class 8 I have made you study about several changes in your body, what happens in adolescence. So adolescence and puberty, these are the main change point in your body from childhood to adulthood. So this I have already discussed. Now we notice that our height has increased continuously from the age till now. We will see that the teeth which was there in our after birth, what we had, then we lose as we gradually grow old. So milk teeth acquire new ones. So gradually the body is changing. See, now all these are the changes that can be grouped under general process of growth. So what is happening in our body? It is growth, right? So in which the body becomes larger, but early in teenage years, what is happening? The whole new set of changes occurs that cannot be explained simply as body enlargement. So this is not only a body enlargement. There are several set of changes happening in the body, and it is not that only the body is enlarging. Certain parts are also changing. So the appearance of the body changes, proportions change, new features appear, and so do new sensations. So there are several hormonal changes in the body, appearance changes in the body. Our brain also has certain changes. Okay, so you have noticed that because you are in 10th standard, you are in adolescent phase, and you are undergoing certain changes in your body. Now, some of these changes are common to both boys and girls. We begin to notice thick hair growing in the new parts of the body, such as armpits and genital areas between the thighs, which also becomes darker in color. So this is a very common change in both girls and boys, right? Now, thinner hair can also appear on legs and arms as well as on the face. The skin frequently becomes oily, and we might begin to develop pimples. So this is an age where normally skin becomes oily, and you boys and girls both will have pimples in your face. So this is quite natural. This is nothing different, or all people of this age who has passed through this age will have certain symptoms like this. Now we begin to be conscious and aware of both our bodies and those of others also in new ways. Okay, is it clear? Now, on the other hand, there are also changes taking place that are different in boys and girls. So what are the changes? In girls, we see the breast size begins to increase, and we also see that the skin of the nipples at the tips of the breast, they darken. Okay, and the girls begins to menstruate at around this time. Okay, so this around 11 to 12 years of age, the girls start menstruating. So boys, this what is menstruation and all, we will discuss today only in today's class. Now boys begin to have new thick hair growth on the face, their voice begins to crack. Further, what happens? Their penis occasionally begins to become enlarged and erect, either in daydreams or at night. So these are the very common changes which are different in both boys and girls. Now when we move further, what we see, all these changes, they take place slowly over months and years. Is it clear? Now we will see more. So they cannot happen only at the same time in one person, nor they happen at an exact age. So in some people they happen early, whereas in some people they happen late. They can happen slowly. Also, each change does not become complete quickly either. So it is a slow, gradual process from childhood to maturity. It takes months, years to transform. A body is transforming from a childhood to an adult person. So, for example, thick hair on the face in boys appears as few scattered hairs first. Then only slowly does the growth begin to become uniform, and even so, all these changes show differences between people. Just as we have differently shaped nose, fingers, so we do have different patterns of hair growth, size and shape of breasts or penis. So all this bodily things, they differ. So it's not uniform in all, and it's not happening at the same time, same date to all of them. Okay, so it is a gradual change and depends on different body. We can say that body formation or body changes, or the hormonal part of the body is deciding that how the body will develop slowly. And in the previous lesson in coordination and control, we have told that all this is regulated by the hormone only. So all these changes are aspects of sexual maturation of the body. Is it clear now? Now, gradually we will see that why does the body show sexual maturation at this stage? Why? We have talked about the need of specialized cell types in multicellular bodies to carry out specialized functions. We have told that specified organs are there to carry out specified functions, like circulatory system, which takes place the circulation of the body, excretory system, which takes place takes the main function of excreting the we can say that the unwanted substances of the body are excreted through this excretory system, and like that only the reproductive system is there. So the creation of the germ cells is to participate in the sexual reproduction is another specialized function that we have seen that in plants. They also develop specialized cells and tissues which create new plants or animals, right? So like that only in humans also we will see that they develop special tissues for this purpose. Okay. Now, so however, while the body of the individual organism is growing to its adult size, the resources of the body are mainly they are wanting to achieve the growth. Okay, while that is happening, only the maturation of the reproductive tissue is not likely to be a major priority. Okay, so thus as the rate of the general body growth begins to slow down, the reproductive tissues begin to mature. So gradually growth begins rapidly. So when you can see that the growth has slowed down, so it means the reproductive organs, the reproductive tissues, they have gradually reached or they have started to mature. So this period during adolescence is called puberty. So when they have started to mature, when they have almost reached the maturation level, that is called puberty. So how all these changes that we have talked about link to reproductive process, because we are stressing on reproductive system today, how we can relate the change of the body, the change of the penis, the development of menstrual cycle, the development of breasts and all, what all happenings were there throughout the male and the female body happened during the adolescence are related to reproductive process. So we must remember that the sexual mode of reproduction means the germ cells from the two individuals, both the male and the female gametes should be present in the sexual reproduction. So we can say that if two individual bodies are joining together for internal transfer of the germ cells for fusion, as happens in many animals, then only this reproduction will happen. Okay, so if animals are to participate in this, so now these animals, if they are going to participate in this mating process, their state of sexual maturity should be identifiable by other individuals. So if they are sexually matured only, it should be identifiable by other individuals. Okay, if the mating process is to be induced. Now many changes during puberty, such as new hair growth patterns, are signals of sexual maturation is taking place. Okay. On the other hand, the actual transfer of germ cells between two people needs the special organs. Okay, so the development of the special reproductive organs for the sexual act is necessary, such as the penis when it is capable of becoming erect, and in mammals such as humans, the baby is carried in the mother's body for a long period, okay, and will be breastfed later. So the uterus, the woman's body should be also ready for the baby to be carried in the mother's body, and the breasts should be matured to feed the baby later. So the female reproductive organs and the breasts will need to mature to accommodate these possibilities, right? So let us look at the systems involved in the process of sexual reproduction. So we will go through these processes of sexual reproduction. So let us start with the male reproductive system first. So first we will go through the male reproductive system. Now here you can see the diagram of male reproductive system. So first we will go through the diagram properly, then we will come to the description here. So let us see, this is the penis. Okay, so these are the testes, and this is the sac that is called the scrotum, in which the testes are hanging outside the body. So I'll tell you the reason why the testes are located not inside the abdomen and they are hanging outside the body. Now from the testes, we can see that there is a tube-like structure called the vas deferens, which is coming here and which is joining here to the ureter, or the tube which is coming from the urinary bladder. So both they combine together here, and their passage of carrying both the sperms and the urine is the same. So both they are carried through the urethra. So it is the common passage of both the semen and the urine carrying passage is same. So this is the seminal vesicle, and these are the prostate gland. Now we will come to the description part of this male reproductive system. Now we have already discussed about the diagram here. Now we will have a discussion about the this male reproductive system consists of portions which produce the germ cells, okay. The other portions that deliver germ cells to the site of fertilization also we will discuss. So first we will see where the germ cells are formed. The germ cells or the sperms formation takes place in the testes. So these are the testes where the germ cell formation is taking place. They are located outside the abdominal cavity. I told you in this scrotal sac or scrotum they are located. Why? Because it requires a lower temperature than the normal body temperature. So if they are located inside the abdomen, the sperms will not mature and they will get destroyed. So they should be at a lesser temperature than the body. Okay, so we have discussed the role of testes in the secretion of hormone testosterone. So testosterone we have already studied in the lesson coordination and control in the previous chapter. So please do go through it. I have already discussed that lesson. I'll be giving the link in the I box above. So in addition to regulating the formation of sperms, testosterone bring about changes in the appearance seen in boys at the time of puberty. Is it clear? Now, the sperms formed are delivered through vas deferens. So, the sperms formed here are delivered through this duct-like structure, vas deferens, which unites with the tube. Here we have seen that which are uniting with the tube, and this tube which is carrying the coming from the urinary bladder. And this urethra thus is a common passage for both the sperms and urine. So this urethra is the common passage of both the sperms and the urine. So along the path vas deferens, there are several glands like the prostate gland and seminal vesicle. Just see here, seminal vesicle and prostate gland, these are the glands on the way where the urethra is passing through this penis, and we can see that they also add secretions to the sperms, are now in a fluid which makes the transport easier, and this fluid also provides nutrition to the sperm. Okay, so they are passing through this urethra, this tube. They are also this seminal vesicle and prostate gland, they are giving some secretion, some fluid into this, which is making the passage of sperms easier. And the sperms are what? They are tiny bodies that consists of many genetic material and a long tail that helps them to move towards the female germ cell. So this male reproductive system is overdone. Now we will move on to this female reproductive system. So now when we come to female reproductive system, we will tell that where the germ cells or eggs are produced, they are produced in the ovaries. So these are the ovaries where the germ cells are produced, and there are some hormones also produced from this ovaries. Okay, so when a girl child is born, the ovaries, they already contain thousands of immature eggs. So when do they mature? They mature as soon as the female body reaches the puberty. One egg is matured every month, and the egg is carried from the ovary to the womb through the oviduct or the fallopian tube, and the two oviducts, they unite into an elastic bag-like structure known as uterus. And the uterus opens into the vagina through the cervix. So let us see the diagram and make it very clear. So when we are seeing here, these two are ovary, these two are the duct-like structure which open into this uterus or womb. When this uterus is opening, through this opening cervix, it is opening to the vagina. So what is happening generally? The ovum or the egg is carried through this fallopian tube to this womb. Okay, but when the sperm is entering through the vagina, to the cervix, to the uterus, when the sperm is entering, they will unite together here in this place only. The sperm will unite with the ovum or the egg, and then after certain stages and maturation of the ovum and the sperm and forming of the embryo when it is fully mature and it is in blastocyst stage, it will come and the implantation will happen in the wall of this uterus. So you can see the thickening of the uterus wall is due for the implantation of the blastocyst here, and the blastocyst will gradually grow to form a baby, and the baby will get all its nutrition from this new organ formed, which is called the placenta. So placenta will provide all the nutrition from the mother's blood to the baby, and after the birth of the baby, after the parturition, the placenta also will be moved out from the body through the vagina only. So let us see this procedure. So, as we have told that the sperms, they enter through the vaginal passage during sexual intercourse, they travel upwards and reach the oviduct when they may encounter with the egg. So in that oviduct, so this is the ovary, we have told these are the two tubes. Okay, these are the two ovaries and these are the tubes which are carrying that to the uterus and through the cervix to the vagina. So the fertilized egg zygote starts dividing and forming a balls of the embryo, and the embryo is implanted in the lining of the uterus. So the embryo is implanted in the lining of the uterus, and where they continue to grow and develop the organs to form a fetus. Now we have already seen in earlier sections that a mother's body is designed to undertake the development of the child. Hence, the uterus prepares itself every month to receive and nurture the growing embryo. So, every month it is preparing itself, and every month this menstruation happens till the menopause comes. So, what is again menopause? When the menstruation is stopping. So, menopause. So, what does this pause means? That there is the menstruation stops, and this is the end of reproductive life or reproductive cycle of a woman. So it is nearly around the age of 50 the reproductive cycle stops, that the uterus stops preparing the body every month to receive and nurture the growing embryo. This process is stopping, and a female body reaches menopause at around the age of almost 50 or at the late 40s, right? So now we will come back to this. The embryo gets nutrition from the mother's blood with the help of a special tissue called placenta. So I have just now told you placenta. This is the disc which is embedded in the uterine wall, and it contains villi on the embryo side of the tissue. So on the mother's side are blood spaces which surrounds the villi, and this provides a large surface area of glucose and oxygen to pass from the mother to the embryo. Okay, so the developing embryo will also generate waste substances which can be removed by transferring them into the mother's blood through the placenta. So all the waste things from the kid's body, from the baby's body inside the uterus is removed by transferring it to the mother's blood. And the food and nutrition from the mother's blood is going through the child. The development of the child inside the mother's body takes approximately 9 months, and the child is born as a result of rhythmic contractions of the muscle in the uterus. And this process is called parturition. So if you are interested to learn this process more, it is not there in your curriculum, but I have a video on this parturition as well, separate video, so you can go through that, and I'll be putting that in the end screen at the end of this video. So what happens when the egg is not fertilized? So we should see this also, what happens when the egg is not fertilized. So let us go through this. So what happens when the egg is not fertilized? If the egg is not fertilized, it lives for about a day. And since the ovary releases one egg every month, the uterus also prepares itself to receive the fertilized egg. So what will happen? Thus the lining becomes thick and spongy, and this would be required for nourishing the embryo if fertilization had taken place. So if not, then however this lining is not needed anymore. So the lining breaks and comes out through the vagina as a blood and mucus. And this cycle takes place roughly every month and is known as menstruation. So this is having several stages, several phases of menstruation. There also I have taught in a different full video. If you are interested, the menstrual cycle or menstruation, in a different video I have taught. So I will give that in the end screen video. Please do go through that in details. But here for your curriculum, it's completely here. So every month that breaks down and comes out through the vagina and the blood and the mucus. So this cycle takes place roughly every month and is known as menstruation, and it usually lasts about from 2 days to 8 days. So it varies from individual to individual. In certain female it is for 2 days, and others it will be for 8 days. Now we will see about the reproductive health. Okay, so as we have seen, the process of sexual maturation is gradual. It takes place while the general body growth is still going on. Therefore, some degree of sexual maturation does not necessarily mean that the body and the mind is ready for sexual acts or for having and bringing up children. So as the body is growing, as it is in puberty stage, our body is not at all ready to conceive a baby or to give nurturing care to a children. So how do we decide that the body or the mind is ready for certain responsibility or not? Okay, so all of us are under certain different kinds of pressure about these issues. Okay, so there can be pressure from our friends for participating in many activities. Your friends may provoke you whether we really want or not. There can be pressure from families to get married and start having children. There can be pressure from government agencies to avoid having children. So certain kinds of pressure is there. So in this situation, what we can do? So in this situation, making choices becomes very difficult. We must also consider the possible health consequences. So that is what is reproductive health. So we should know the possible health consequences of having sex. We have also discussed in class 9 that certain diseases can be transmitted from person to person in a variety of ways. Since the sexual act is very intimate connection of the male and the female body, it is not at all surprising that many diseases can be sexually transmitted. Now these include bacterial infections such as gonorrhea and syphilis, and viral infections such as warts and HIV and AIDS. So it is possible to prevent the transmission of such diseases during sexual act. How? Using a covering called a condom for the penis during sex helps to prevent the transmission of many of these infections. So to cover the penis, there comes a covering that is called condom, which helps to prevent the transmission of several diseases from the male to female body. Now next comes the sexual act always has a potential to lead to pregnancy. Okay, so pregnancy will make major demands on the body and the mind of the woman. If she is not ready for it, her health will be adversely affected. So might be if it is an accidental act of sex, if the woman is getting pregnant, if she is not ready for the child, her mental and physical health will be affected. Therefore, many ways have been devised to avoid pregnancy. So what are the methods? There are several contraceptive methods which fall in a number of categories. One category is the creation of mechanical barrier so that the sperms do not reach the eggs. Condoms on penis or similar coverings worn in vagina can serve this purpose. Another category is the contraceptive, which acts by changing the hormonal balance of the body so that the eggs are not released and fertilization cannot occur. So there are certain contraceptive pills also. These are taken orally and these are called contraceptive pills. However, since they change the hormonal balances of the body, they can have several side effects too, and they are harmful for the female body. Other contraceptive devices such as loop or the copper T are placed in the uterus to prevent the pregnancy. Okay. Now this copper T, these also can cause irritation in the uterus, so they are also harmful. If the vast difference in the male is blocked, the sperm transfer will be prevented. Okay. So if the fallopian tube in the female is blocked, the egg transfer will be stopped. So this in male it is called vasectomy. So this is called vasectomy, and in female this is called tubectomy. So these are also several methods of contraception. The use of condoms is one method. The use of copper T is one method. The use of contraceptive pills is one method. Okay, and this tubectomy and vasectomy are also another method. So contraceptive pills is another method. So in both the cases, fertilization will not take place. Surgical methods can be used to create such blocks. Okay. So while these surgical methods are safe and in long run surgery itself can cause infections and other problems, if not performed properly. Okay, so all these contraceptive methods are having certain pros and cons. Okay, so surgery also can be used for the removal of unwanted pregnancy. So what is that? Now, suppose the person has conceived a baby and within certain weeks she wants to remove the baby, that is an unwanted pregnancy, it can be removed. But these may be misused by certain people who do not want a particular child, and this happens in the illegal sex selective abortion of female fetuses. Okay, so for we can say that for female fetuses, this is happening every now and then. For a healthy society, the female male sex ratio must be maintained, because reckless female feticides or killing of the female child sex ratio is declining at an alarming rate in some sections of our society. Although the prenatal sex determination, what is prenatal sex determination? That is when the child is in mother's womb. Sex determination at that time is prohibited by law, and it is illegal. So that is illegal. The prenatal sex determination is illegal. We have noted earlier that reproduction is a process by which organisms increase their population, and the rates of birth, death of the given population will determine its size. So the size of the human population is also the cause of concern for many people. So this is because an expanding population makes it harder to improve everybody's standard of living. Okay, however, if the inequality in the society is the main reason for the poor standard of living for many people, the size of the population is relatively unimportant. If we look around us, we can identify the most important reason for poor living standards. Okay, so now here are certain questions. Now please go through the question. How is the process of pollination different from fertilization? What is the role of seminal vesicle and prostate gland? I have told you all. What are the changes seen in girls at the time of puberty? How does the embryo gets nourishment inside the mother's body? If the woman is using a copper T, will it help in protecting her from sexually transmitted diseases? So these questions, please try to answer it on your own, as I have gone through all the answers. Now I'll do a quick sum up of this lesson and we will quickly wind it up. And if you are liking my channel, if you want to know more and more regarding many interesting lessons as per your curriculum, please stay tuned and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget. Now we will sum up this lesson quickly. So this is the diagram of the male reproductive system, and it is very neat and clean with all the labeling given here. So I have done this earlier also. Please practice this diagram with all the features which are to be labeled here. So I have discussed earlier, this is vas deferens, this is the urinary bladder, this is penis, this is the urethra which is carrying the semen, sperms as well as the urine. These are two glands, seminal prostate gland and seminal vesicle. This is epididymis and this is the testicle or the testes. Okay, so this practice and learn this diagram, and it is very important for your exams. Now comes the female reproductive system. This is a very nice and beautiful diagram which has to be practiced in a well manner, and please learn all this labelings. This is vagina, this is the cervical canal, this is cervix or the opening, this is perimetrium, this is endometrium, and this is myometrium. So these are the layers of the uterus. Okay, perimetrium is the outer layer, endometrium is the inner layer, and the myometrium is the middle layer. This is the embryo which is being implanted in this wall of the uterus. This is ovary. These are the fallopian tubes or the oviduct. This is uterine fundus, this muscular layer, this is ovary, and this is the ovarian ligament. Okay, so which is holding the ovary along with this fallopian tube. These finger-like things are called fimbriae. So this is the structure of the ovary, and it is a beautiful label diagram. Please do practice it. Next we will move on to the implantation diagram. So this is the diagram of fertilization, how the sperm is coming, how the sperm is having acrosome reaction, that is the tip of the sperm is having certain enzymatic reaction. It is having an enzyme called hyaluronidase. which is reacting, which is helping it to penetrate through this zona pellucida layer of the ovum. It is entering the ovum, and only one ovum is there. One sperm will come and bind to the ovum, and then the embryo will be formed. So this is the process of fertilization. In this time telling you in 10th standard, in 12th you will be studying that in full details. So this is the gist which should be known in 10th, and in higher class in 12th you will study that in details, and I have already taught for 12th standard. Now this is how the fertilization process is happening. Gradually, after the combining of the sperm with the ovum here, they will, after certain stages of cell division, they will finally go and implant itself in the wall of the uterus. So this is not to be shown in details in 10th. This is for 12th grade, but just I am showing how this, after certain stages, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, in day 8th or 9th, it will get implanted in the wall of the uterus. So we have spoken about menstrual cycle or menstruation. So menstrual cycle, or in other words we can say menstruation, which I have already discussed earlier. It is approximately a 28-day cycle, and there are several phases. The first phase is the menstrual phase, when the bleeding happens. Second phase is the follicular phase, when the egg matures. The third phase is the ovulation phase, when the release of egg happens. The fourth phase, or the luteal phase, when it prepares the uterus for receiving the sperm. And if fertilization does not occur, the cycle repeats, and again the menstrual phase comes. So this is what is the menstrual cycle in female. Now, what is this importance of reproduction? The importance of reproduction, it is ensures the continuity of species. So all the species should be continued, whether humans, whether animals, whether plants, they should continue their races, their species. It brings about genetic variation, because in sexual reproduction, as male and the female gametes, they unite, there is a genetic variation, provides opportunity for evolution of the species, and it maintains the population stability as well. So these are the main importances of reproduction. So what we have studied today, if we sum up quickly, that is human reproduction. It involves both male and female systems. Fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube, zygote, it's converted to embryo and to fetus in the uterus. Menstrual cycle prepares the female body for the reproduction process. Now it is essential for the survival and variation of the species. So it's all done. Your reproduction in organisms has been done, and this was the last part, human reproduction, and I have completed that in one short full. So please do go through it with patience, and don't forget to share it with your friends as well. And if you are liking my channel, please do subscribe to my channel for more and more updates on whatever I'm posting. Stay tuned, stay subscribed, and please don't skip in the middle, because throughout the episode it was a very interesting topic with many important things which you had to know. So stay tuned, stay updated. Thanks a lot for watching, and meet you in the next episode very soon. Thank you.